Hey, how are you? Making this quick video on something I think is really, really important and probably one of the biggest challenges when starting an insurance agency. How to get an appointment and what is an appointment, why is it important, and most importantly, what everybody wants to know is how to get the appointment. So let's dive right into it. So first and foremost, what is an appointment? An appointment is essentially a contract with an insurance company for your agency, brokerage, captive. It's basically a contract with that company, essentially allowing you to transact and sell their products in return for a commission or it's an agreement between you and the company. Every company is a little bit different. Some have contracts, stipulations in their contract with requirements, volume requirements, premium requirements, et cetera, et cetera. So that appointment varies from company to company, and their process of getting appointed is very different. Some are very difficult, some are very easy. We tend to see some of the easier companies being like non-standard companies that aren't necessarily preferred business. And when I say preferred, that means like the very clean, no claims, like standard auto, home insurance, good looking policies. And you start to gauge what that feels like. What is a good policy? Somebody who doesn't cancel all the time, lapse, or et cetera, et cetera. So appointments are extremely important. That's what they are. They're contracts, agreements between you and the company, and in return they pay you commissions that typically get mailed out on a full premium monthly basis. So why do you need those? You need an appointment because if you don't have an appointment, you have a brokerage that has no products, essentially. You need to have those contracts in place so that you can sell those companies' products. And a broker, like myself, has the flexibility to work with multiple different companies. That's the beauty of it. That's kind of the value that we get to bring as brokers versus just a captive agency that only has one company. So that appointment, you need to get those with each individual company that you decide to, or you want to go for. So I'm going to dive into probably the most important part, and everybody wants to know, how do I get the appointments? Because this is the big paradox challenge where the companies typically require you to have some volume or have some requirements for you prior to getting the appointment, and you can't meet those requirements without having an appointment first. So it's this weird paradox where it's like they want you to have volume and clients and premium on the books, but you can't get those without appointments, right? So this is kind of where I'm going to try to help bring you some value and answer the question. So there's 3 things I highly recommend, and this is kind of the 3 ways that I would go about. If I was starting over, I would do this. Number 1 thing you can do is join an alliance or a cluster. So that alliance is like a middleman, kind of like a master agency in between you and the company. Lots of times these clusters, I'm part of SIAA. If you look up there, SIAA is an alliance, and they've been great for me, and they basically are a middleman between me and the companies. They have these contracts, long established relationships with them, and they kind of put me under their wing and give me access to the companies on their behalf, and they pay out commissions to me based on the contract. It's all, every contract is a little different, so we get paid commissions under them as like a sub, agency, and little by little they help us get directly appointed with the companies. So that's the value they bring to us. There's a lot of them out there. I don't know everything about all of them. I get asked this all the time, like, which alliance should I go for? Like, is this a good one? Is this a bad one? I've only been with SIAA. They've been great. I'll say it every time. But I don't know about the other ones. I can't speak on those too much. So I'll just give you based on my experience. The second thing, so alliances are huge. If you want to join one, that's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to bring you a lot of value. At the end of the day, the unfortunate thing is they do split commissions, and there's like monthly fees, etc., and then everyone's a little different, but they'll give you the access you need right away. So that's important. Number 2, second thing that you can do is just go cold and just hit up the companies directly. See if they'll give you a contract. If they do give you a contract, like for example, I'm just going to throw a couple random companies out there, like Progressive, Allstate, Liberty Mutual, all these different companies, Travelers. If you go to their websites, you can actually apply for an appointment on them. So these are simple Google searches, guys. Like, you go to the companies, how to get appointed. I'm not going to dive into it so much because these are all things that you can also find on Google. So go to their sites directly, see what you need to do to get the appointment kind of rolling. It's usually like an application on their site or a filled out application you submit. There's a very high chance that if you're starting from scratch, from zero, that they're going to deny you because they're the bigger companies. They have requirements, like I said. So the smaller non-standard companies that are, not the preferred products always, tend to be easier to get appointments with. So there's a lot of them out there. Find out which is one of those lower ones. Maybe that'll help you kind of get rolling, eventually look better in the eyes of the bigger companies. That's a route to go if you don't want to go the alliance and splitting the commission route. The third thing, I've never really gave this tip out, but it's something that I've kind of learned here recently in the last couple years. If you have connections with somebody who is an agent for a long time in the business that has representatives that they have connections with, or if you know somebody within a company that has leverage, so leverage connections. For example, me, if somebody reached out to me like, hey, Chris, I really want this X company. How do I get the appointment? I might know somebody, and I might be able to CC you on an email and say, hey, this guy's great. He's going to come up. He's doing pretty well. Maybe you can help him get an appointment or something. I'm not throwing out any endorsements right now because I'm still getting myself fully established and getting all those relationships established. So it's hard for me to do that for anybody right now, but maybe when I'm 10, 15 years deep, then happy to help everyone I can. So the third thing, like I said, leverage connections. And that's pretty much it for the most part. That's all I got as far as appointments. There's lots of questions that come up, how to fill out the applications, blah, 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 blah. If you guys need help with that, I'm happy to help out. You can click the link, chriscostantini.com, schedule a call with me. That I can go way deeper into kind of which ones, which companies, and kind of give you more in-depth information. But this is like scratching the surface of appointments. Reach out to them, reach out to the alliances. I'll also put another link, the Insurance Journal, I believe, like the top 20 partnership alliances. That'll help you give you like an idea of which alliances you can take a look at. And hopefully that was helpful if anybody needs help. That's all I got. I'm going to just come over here real quick and say hello to Mr. Plant one more time. He's really, really helping out. We've made some good sales recently. So I think it's shout out to this guy and everyone else that's watching. So hopefully that was helpful. If anybody needs help, give me a call. Happy to help out, and we'll see you guys at the top. See you soon. Bye.